The following are screenshot examples of the criminal trial transcripts for the alleged assaulting a police officer and alleged obstruction charges from one of my 2 times that I testified. If the alleged charges of assaulting a police officer and obstruction were real, then the female would not be part of the trial. The Crown prosecutor would later admit the female was used to complicate the criminal proceedings to discredit me. I was testifying my concerns regarding the anonymous tip, as this wouldn't be the first time in my life dealing with such a thing, as you will see. I state I had to take my time with audio recording the female and her confessions as not to taint what she states. I highlight my 2 objectives with her, to vindicate myself and obtain information about the sexual abuse of the vulnerable women at the organization. After I fired my first lawyer, some months later I received an email from him stating the evidence shows the female lost her temper with me. It can be heard in the audio of December 2012, how she said she was mad at me for not helping them as she wanted. I made a few affidavits about what I knew regarding the sexual abuse, trafficking of these vulnerable women. This is a sample of one. I highlight that no one spoke to me as I dealt with post-traumatic stress during the time. So I state my concerns were heightened because of the executive director and others later telling me the investigation was not over. I had resigned twice due to working relations between the executive director and I not being good. I've shown screenshots of my resignation letters in other videos. I further expand on the executive director, who is linked to the influential men in the city of Calgary. I had video recorded some of these men at the December 2012 Christmas party and left the disc containing them on a shelf in my old office. I testified that I thought the officer was talking to her about a car accident and that's why they were there. At the time, I had no idea what was going on. Not until later, she, on her own, told me. I give answer to what I knew about the female falsely accusing other men. It was deemed hearsay, yet she was known to the police already. Although I was challenged about my hearing she did this to 14 men, the disclosure package information proves she has an extensive history of doing this. I managed to secretly video record her stashing items inside my vehicle. She once asked me with a smile if I was already recording her, and I said no. Why would you ask? Other strange things were taking place during this time. I continue about the female stashing stuff like money and state the executive director put my personal phone number on the wall at the front desk of the organization. I kept taking it down and asked for them to issue me a work cell phone. The Crown prosecutor asked why I didn't just stay away from the female after everything in December 2012. The following will answer this. I gave answer to the Crown prosecutor's question. I didn't want something to come back and haunt me or show up on CPIC causing me problems. I show in 2010 someone made an anonymous tip linking me to a murder investigation. The investigating detectives misread my sexual assault complaints and assumed it was me that was the perpetrator. I was one of 1,600 interviewed on the street, and according to the newspaper, the suspect had a size 10 work boot. I have a size 13 wide shoe. After the email, I went on with my life and not thinking about this event. 2 years later, it would come back to haunt me, which shook me up. This is one reason why I reacted as I did to the December 2012 anonymous tip false accusation. I don't know how they knew where I was or what they thought they knew about me, but they were there on a mission. and the omitted redirect from the November 2013 testimony of the first former officer proved this. The problem is, I cannot prove what was said as it was omitted by request.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people saying to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.